Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming another book review and I am talking about A Warning About Swans by R.M. Romero, which was released in July. It was released on the 11th of July, but I got my arcs a bit late because postage and life, so I didn't get it until after release date, but I read it. I still wanted to post a review about it, like I do have the ARC edition. First of all, instantly pulled into this book because look at this cover. Like, look at it. It's stunning. I was gonna read what says behind here. Swan Lake meets a lost unicorn by the way of the brothers Grimm in a dreamy original fairy tale by critically acclaimed author R.M. Romero. And it is indeed like a dreamy kind of like fairy tale book. And it is told, which I didn't know, in verse. It's not even like, what's it called, a full-length book, which I didn't know, but it made for a quick read. And it was really beautiful written. I really liked the writing and they made it unique, and it follows our main character. What is her name? Hilda. I don't know if some people would say Hild. I would say Hilda. But yeah, she is a swan. She is one of 6 sisters that was created by Odin, the Allfather, in a forest. And they all had different tasks. And her task is, sadly, to make sure that souls of the dead go on to the afterlife, which means that she's like, she meets death all the time and she hates this, she hates her life, she feels trapped and she doesn't want to be there anymore. And then a boy shows up in the forest and is showing her, I was gonna say, a way out, a new life, a life to be human, and she follows him. And it's maybe not the best thing for her because he turns out to be an asshole, which you kind of get, like, it's hinted at very early, so it's not a spoiler. She needs to find maybe a way to survive this. That's all I'm gonna say. The book might have a queer relationship, is all I'm gonna say. And it very much feels like a fairy tale. Like, it's literally like set up as a fairy tale with like objects that gives you power and like, I was gonna say, just the images you get in the head. It's very, very fairy tale. And I loved it. I love the vibe. But it's like dark. It's like a darker fairy tale, obviously, because like Brothers Grimm. Comparison. Is that a word? And it's just written really nicely as well. It is unique in that way, and it's unique in its story. Even though obviously it pulls from like different like known, I was gonna say, myths and legends, whatever you want to call it. And I had a good time. I really did. However, I'm not saying that again that the book is terrible or anything like that, but like I just felt a bit disconnected by the story in the end. I was just kind of like, can we get on with it? Because I was very like into the story in the beginning. When we were in the forest, it was just something about the atmosphere. I was just like very like smooth and nice, and I just felt really like, I don't know the word to describe it, but very calm in here. And then when things play down, I was just like, let's just finish it. I don't care at this point. I guess it just lost my interest a bit. I feel like the story could have been like 100 pages shorter to, I don't know, I was gonna say keep my attention span. That just might be me. But it was just something about like how, I don't know exactly the words, but it was almost like the book was trying to prove a point or like do this thing. And I was just like, I get it, you're doing this thing. But I want it to be done now. And I feel like that sounds very, very negative. But like, I had a good time. I liked it. I would give it 3.5 stars if you're curious. But rounding it up to 4 or down to 3 is very difficult because I honestly don't know. Like the beginning, it's like almost 5 stars for me. But just like when you get to like a midpoint, I was just like, I don't care. And the ending was kind of like very much expected. It didn't give any plot twists or blunt-mindedness or anything like that. I'm not saying it had to be, but I always enjoy a good plot twist, and that's where plot for me is very important, especially like if it's fantasy. And I know it's like a fairy tale, so I don't know like what kind of plot twist I was expecting. I wasn't really expecting anything. But since I wasn't expecting anything, and if I delivered some kind of like, oh my god, I would have really, really loved it. And like, I ended up just liking it. But as I said, the beginning was like really, really great for me. And then I was just like, okay, I guess we're done now. Kinda. And I feel like that's a bit sad, because I feel like I was very hyped and like feeling really good in the beginning. But then I just feel like, okay. But you know, not every book can be a favorite. I don't regret reading it. I had a good time. I'm glad I read it because of like the cover, and the story was good. I know that some people, I feel like, would really, really love this and not think about like the things that for me made my enjoyment go a bit down. So good for them. Good for them. I would definitely recommend it. It's a very quick read because it is not in prose. So there's that. I opened the book, by the way, and I was like, what? And I thought at first I just like came to like a rhyme in the story. Sorry, I almost lost my phone. It can be put there. And then it was just like just how the story was told, because like when I was open to check, and I thought that was funny. Just how the story was also a bit like, I was gonna say like it comments on itself in the text, and I thought that could be at sometimes interesting. We got a lot of foreshadowing from that as well, but sometimes it also didn't leave much up to the reader to interpret as well. But that can be like go both ways of like how much you enjoy that kind of thing. And I personally like loved it a lot sometimes, but sometimes I was just like, it's a bit much. So maybe it's just a me problem, guys. I'm sorry. Overall, just a bit predictable is maybe what I want to say. And it doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing, but for me, it just makes it not be like, oh my god, best thing ever. And that's okay. That's okay. It was beautiful with what it wanted to do. And I enjoyed the writing style and I enjoyed the story. And I overall had a good time with what it gave, and that's all. It's a short review. I think I could have read some example of its writing, but since I don't have my books, I don't remember. There was one part I really enjoyed, and I don't remember. I was like, I need to remember this page, and I did not. But it was a good experience. You now know about it. I feel like it's a book I've seen a bit around, but I didn't know anything about it. So now, if you were curious about it, you know a bit about it. And I guess that's what I do here, because that's why I have a channel about books. Either way, I guess that's all I want to say. Leave a swan emoji down below if you enjoyed this video. And you should see me soon in a new one. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.